You know what? We are almost ready to actually roll over the engine in the RX-7. I got the battery cable ran to the starter. I am going to put a battery kill switch on the back at some point. I just don't have one right now, and I haven't found a good spot that I like one. So all I've got to do is run the wire to the alternator and then like a main power wire to a distribution box that sends power inside the car, and then we can actually roll the thing over, hopefully off the key, assuming everything else is still good. There is oil in the engine, you can see, because there's a small puddle there from where I didn't have a fitting tight enough. Hopefully it's tight now. I've got a shifter cable that looks like it should work. This one was way too short and wasn't the right ends. But we are making progress. The thing's getting super close. If it rolls over today and everything seems good, then all we really need is a tune in the computer, fuel. I'll just hotwire the fuel pump for now, and I think that might be it, and then we can actually start it, which would be like a hallelujah moment, because this car hasn't run in at least 2 years now, I think. I've been dragging my feet on it for so long, doing everything else, that now that I'm just kind of like doing work on it whenever I have some free time, it's actually moving along pretty good. Modify the dump pipe a little bit to make it work. It's just needs a little bit of tweaking here and there. I still have to make this wastegate dump pipe. I got all the wiring in, made a dipstick that fit. With all the bends, it's hard to get in and out, but you can get it. All the wiring's plugged in through the firewall. The only thing I haven't done is the like main 12 volt for the injectors and shit when you're cranking. I have to run the power to the alternator, and then I'll jump from that to this little point here, and this is where the chassis harness gets its power. And then once that's done, we can crank it and see if there's any stupid noises, because I've never heard this engine run. I've had this engine for probably like 5 or 6 years now, and it's basically just sat. So we'll crank it, see if there's anything weird going on. Crank it enough to build up some oil pressure, see if there's any leaks anywhere. We'll see if the turbo spins. I mean, I know it spins here, but if it spins off just the cranking pressure, you know what I mean? I don't have my new plugs for this just yet. I ordered them online because they're a lot cheaper, some TR6s. And they're not here yet. I thought they were gonna be here Friday. They're not, so I could steal, well, I mean, if we're NA, I've got some plugs that would work to at least fire it, but aside from that, there's like exhaust, radiator hose, a few little odds and ends, proper intake bolts, throttle cable. We're getting really close, dude. We're getting real close. So I'm gonna bust out a few little things on this, and then we're gonna try and roll it over. All right, we're all good here. Just have to hook the ground back up on the battery, make sure that nothing's immediately catching on fire, and then I think we can roll it over. All right, battery's on there. I'm not seeing smoke anywhere, not smelling smoke. That's good. They're not tight, they're just on there. Let's see if I can reach over here comfortably. All right. Oh, we got dash lights. God, I'm nervous. Hey, check that out. Ladies and gentlemen, that is called progress. I want to check for oil leaks and stuff like that. And then we'll crank it over a little bit longer. That battery's probably pretty close to dead, but so far, that's awesome. The car's not on fire. That's the first time it's actually like done anything aside from get pushed around in so long. Wow, I'm excited. I think I might unscrew this and dump it into a bottle so that I can see the oil flow. All right, we got that all set. I'm gonna go turn it back over and try and watch to see if any oil shoots out of there. Well, that's not good. What the heck? That's concerning. God, I really don't want to crank it over a bunch without it getting oil to the bearings and shit. I think I'm going to pull this cover off and check to see if it's pumping any oil up to the lifters and shit. It might just not be turning over fast enough to really pump the oil quickly, but it sounded like it was turning over pretty decently there, so I don't think that's it. I'm gonna pull this valve cover off and we'll take a look at it. I think we're gonna just have to, I don't have the like oil priming tool for these, so as much as I hate to say it, I mean, I'm pretty sure it was starting to pump oil because this head should have been completely dry. It sat for 2 years. All I've done is change the springs in it. As much as I really don't want to, and I don't suggest it, I think we're just gonna have to crank it a little bit more. I know it has oil in it, so we'll see, man. God, I'm not comfortable doing this, but I don't have that priming tool. It does feel like the lifters are starting to pump up, so I think that we have oil pressure. All right, good news, we are getting oil. So I'm gonna plug that line back in. I don't see any reason to crank it over anymore right now until we're ready to fire it up. It definitely feels like all the lifters are pumped up. Well, that one's still got a little squish to it, but did not just destroy the engine. That's one thing I don't like about the LSs is you need that special tool to, well, I guess for small blocks you kind of need a special tool too, but it's a lot easier to make for small blocks. You can just like cut up an old distributor and attach it to a drill and spin the pump over and build up pressure. With LSs, you almost need to like get an external thing to force oil through the system. But yeah, I think we're good. I'm gonna hook the turbo feed line back up. And I guess I'll just keep working on other things here and there. Let me turn that music down. I have talked to a couple people who swear that it's better to, with an LS, to just get it to fire right up and it'll build up the oil pressure super quickly, pump them all up pretty quickly. But we're not in that situation, and I didn't want, since this thing's been sitting for so long that there's no oil in any of the galleys or anything like that, I didn't want the stress of the piston on the rods and stuff like that, on the bearings or the crank I didn't want to risk any more than what we just did eating up a bearing or anything like that. So I think we'll be good. Just need to tidy up a bunch more things, and I think we're getting real close to actually firing this thing up. But that's gonna do it for today. I've got a few other things to take care of, so we're out of time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.